In this video, we're going to be discussing how we're going to use the e-collar. So you just watched a video explaining what the e-collar is and the main features of it. But now we're going to talk about exactly how we're going to use it on your dog. So you're about to watch that daily summary where we've introduced the e-collar, we've found the lowest working level, but then now we need to teach your dogs what that stimulation means. This process is we do it in a very specific way so that way we can build confidence with your dog for using it. If you are not careful, there's a term called learned helplessness, which means that your dog can very quickly, if we don't use it correctly, start to associate confusion and panic with the e-collar because they don't understand the task. And so when they feel that stimulation, they get overwhelmed, mentally frustrated, and don't understand the clear objective, and they go into panic mode every single time that they feel the e-collar. So to avoid that, we're doing a few major things. We're starting off at that lowest working level so the level itself is not mentally overwhelming to them. And then we are going to be doing the same kennel to kennel drill that you've seen in the videos that your trainer does. So just to explain a little bit of what's going to happen, we have these gray speaker boxes that you're going to see throughout the training, and then when we're doing stuff in person together. These are fantastic training tools because it attaches to the e-collar system, and it lets me know, or it lets you know, when we're using e-collar stimulation. So this is not hooked up to any dog, but when you hear me give stimulation, it's going to sound like this. So as long as you hear that beeping noise, that means that your dog is receiving stimulation. Now, these boxes are actually really unique because this is at a level 3. But then listen to what happens to the beep as I turn the level of e-collar up. It's going to go higher and higher pitch, quicker and quicker together. So right there I ended at a 30. So you heard that crescendo as I go from 2, 15, 25, 30, and so on. So when you hear those levels getting higher and higher as we're doing stuff with your dog, your trainer is most likely going up and down on the levels because that's what we do. We're very comfortable in doing that, and it makes a very clear picture to your dog. But I want you, as we go through the basics, to remember that anyone in the world can buy an e-collar off Amazon, throw it on their dog's neck, turn it up to a level that the dog is yelping, and say no, and give them stim. No, no, no. Everyone in the world can do that. That is not the way that you're going to see us do it with your dogs. How you're going to see us do it with your dogs is a method that we refer to as the gas pedal and the brake pedal. And so we're going to be using it as a gas pedal to complement every single command we give your dog. And here in a second, I'm going to switch it over and I'm going to show you with my dog Rooster exactly what that looks like so you can hear the stimulation and we can have it explained. And then the brake pedal is exactly what it would be in a vehicle. It gets your dog to stop moving, to go back to what they were doing, to go back to a position because when they got up or were moving, that was the wrong decision for them. So this is nothing more than that electronic leash to communicate to your dogs. Now, the reason that it's so important for us to be utilizing the e-collar in this sense, every single command, and until they accomplish the task, is because it teaches your dog that they're in control of the stimulation and that they need to listen to us on that first trial every single time. So how you're going to see us advance this e-collar is at the beginning of training starting today. You're going to hear us using the e-collar, see us using the e-collar every single command we give them until they accomplish the task. As we progress through the 2 or 3 week program, you'll see us back off that e-collar a little bit more and more when we're around the home and only rely on it as we're out in stimulating places, as we're dealing with stimulating situations around other dogs, animals, humans, other distractors and triggers. And in various situations, you'll see that e-collar pretty much disappear completely to where it's just hanging on your trainer's hip versus in their hands constantly. That is the direction we want to go with the e-collar. We want to go in the direction of using it consistently early on and then eventually just ending up in our pocket and your dog's still listening on that first trial consistently. What we want to avoid doing, and this is the trap that most people fall in when they buy it on Amazon themselves, is they're using it only when they say no, and then your dog does not accomplish the task that we're asking them to do until they feel the e-collar, and then they're going to listen. It's very similar to owners that are in the pattern of sit, 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 rooster, rooster, sit, sit, Rudy, sit. And once we get to that certain level with our voice of we're almost yelling at our dog, then our dog's like, oh crap, mom or dad's serious, I should probably listen now. And so again, to avoid that and to do things differently, because now we're professional dog trainers, now you guys are going to be the dog trainers, we are going to do things that seem a little bit different, something maybe outside your comfort zone, but that is what all the videos are for, and that's what the individual training check-ins are for as well, is to build your confidence with this tool. Other than getting your dog to listen more consistently and quicker, a huge reason for the e-collar is that this technology can match your dog's mood swings better than any other tool that exists. Most of you have your dog here because your dog's mood swings and energy levels change so fast and with so much intensity that it's very hard to match. And if you do try to match their energy level to get through to them, you oftentimes have to resort to yelling at your dog, pulling on your dog extra hard with the collars, doing things that make you frustrated and uncomfortable and emotional very quickly. The e-collar is a one-size-fits-all piece of equipment that is great for children, for men, for women, for elderly people, every different age group, every different physical ability, every different body type, every different personality scale, every different personal intensity that you give off, the personal energy that you have. It is the equalizer for all of that, because a level 9 stimulation from an 8-year-old is the same as a level 9 stimulation from the muscle head that is 6'3", 200 pounds. That intensity level of the level 9 on the e-collar is the exact same. I love giving the example of the e-collar when we use it with an emotional extreme. Now, for us to understand it, fear is usually the best one that I can choose. But remember, it could be fear, it could be intense excitement, it could be anxiety, it could be any emotional extreme. All those are bad, right? Emotional extremes are, and I wouldn't say bad, I guess, but undesired. We want them to be more neutral here in the core. And we're going to get lessons on that with our reactivity as we start going out to public places. But fear is a great one for us to talk this through because it makes the most sense. So if you were sitting right here next to me in the garage where there's nothing going on, and I reach over to you and I tap you very, very lightly on the shoulder, you're going to look over to me because you feel it. Because right now we're just listening to Whitney Houston on the radio and just hanging out in the kennel or in the garage, sitting on a kennel. It's no big deal. This is our baseline. Now take and insert your greatest fear, whether that's heights, whether that's snakes, spiders. Everyone can relate to potentially being fearful of a fully grown grizzly bear chasing after you in the woods. That would be pretty terrifying. And if you don't believe me, look that up on YouTube. It's terrifying. In that emotional extreme, where there's a grizzly bear chasing at us from 30 feet away and our brain is telling us, you're about to die. If I reach over to you and I tap you with the same low intensity that I did earlier, there's no way you're going to look over to me and ask me what I want, because you're just so fixated on that grizzly bear that's tearing after us. And so in that case, to get your attention and tell you that there's safety right here, I might have to tap you harder and harder, and almost to the point where I'm giving you Charlie horses or shaking you and telling you, hey, once I get your attention, come do this over here. Don't worry about that. And then you're going to be like, okay, and trust me. And that's where the training and the trust that we have takes over. It's the same thing with the e-collar. But instead of having to shake your dog's harness, pull on their neck, snap and wave in front of their face to get their attention, we merely go up on the e-collar. So if your dog's baseline level is a 10 around the house, and your dog is perceiving something that makes them overly excited or fearful or anxious, and they have that trigger and they're three-tone missile locked on it, now I can take them, and instead of tapping them at that light sensation, I can turn this up 5 levels. I can turn it up 10 levels. I can turn it up 20 if I need to. And I can give them a little tap and be like, Fido, look at me, come this way, or lay down, or sit, or don't react. Whatever guidance you want to give your dog at that time. But this allows me to tap on their shoulder a little bit higher level. Okay? This is the only tool that allows me to go very surgically what they need. Do they need 10 levels higher, 2 levels higher, 15 levels higher? It's a lot harder to do that, and we've desensitized our dogs so much by tugging on them constantly that it's very hard to get their attention in those fearful or emotional extreme moments when they've already been conditioned to ignore those cues. So the e-collar is going to be the best for cutting through those moments where our words and actions fall short or are inconsistent. Because you might be able to get your dog's attention with a leash jerk. Can you get your 12-year-old kid to do that? Can you get your elderly parent to do that? Can you get your spouse or significant other or friend to do that? Versus, hey, press this button at level 12, it will get his attention and he or she will listen to you better. So always think about it in those terms too. This cuts through the emotional blocks that our dogs put up instinctively and naturally when they go into those reactive moments. So we need something to help cut through it just as effectively. So you're going to see a lot of gas pedal work, some brake pedal work, and we're going to demonstrate that for you right now using my dog Rooster. So I'm going to be doing a few commands with Rooster that your dogs haven't been shown yet, and that's okay. Again, in the video today, you're going to see that kennel to kennel drill and maybe a place introduction. So right here we have 2 place objects and the kennel, and this is going to be me demonstrating the gas pedal technique, okay? So we have it at Rooster's level, which is level 4, super low on the e-collar level from the scale of 0 to 100. And we're going to introduce the kennel command using the e-collar to Rooster. Now he already knows this, he's proficient in it. But the second I say the command kennel to him, I'm going to apply stimulation, that tap on his shoulder, to get him to go into the kennel itself. That stimulation will only stop once he is in the kennel completely. And it's going to look like this. Kennel. Good boy. Down. Good boy. I'm not sure if you're able to see him lay down in there, but I say the command down, apply stimulation as he's working his way into the down position. He receives stimulation and then it goes away as soon as he stops. Come. Place. Down. Good job, buddy. If you're using your e-collar correctly, you should not be able to see or barely be able to see that they are feeling it in this environment. Again, we're at level 4 because we're in the garage. This is his normal everyday environment. Okay, good job, buddy. He hops up. Now I can give him the stim. Rudy, come. Good boy. Place. Nope. Place. Good boy. So right there was a good example of that brake pedal. So I tell him to recall in from playing with his ball. He's excited. I tell him place and he shoots over the top. So to get him to stop and to go back to the place object, I apply and hold down stim to get him to go back to the box I wanted him to go on. And now in this case, I want him to lay down. Down. Nope. Down. Good boy. So right there it was a little gas pedal, a little brake pedal all at once. You're being such a good demonstrator. Thank you, sir. Good boy. Do one more where I want him to come to place. Good. Down. Good boy. And then you'll get to the point where with Rooster, okay, place. Good. Down. I am not using the e-collar. Can you get in your kennel? Thank you, buddy. Down. Not using any e-collar. He's listening proficiently. He's good at this. We do this in this environment all the time, constantly during the day. So I expect him to listen to me without the e-collar. But just remember, for the reactive dogs, for the dogs that get overly excited, how that e-collar matches their energy, and we can use it depending on where they're at mentally and helping us find that balance and find that baseline for them. So this is our example of gas pedal, brake pedal. Now enjoy the training videos that your trainers will send you, and enjoy watching your dogs go through the process. As always though, if you have questions about this process, ask your trainer or wait till the training session, because you're going to get extensive practice using this technology and this system on your trainer before we even do it on your dog.